Lawrence Jones, he travels across the country, always talking to people. What do people tell you about Biden relevant to the issues? What are they saying to you?
I think most Americans, it's Republicans, Democrats, and Independents, are very disappointed at the president right now.
Both sides of the aisle.
Both sides of the aisle, and I think when it comes to the Democrats, it's reached the level to embarrassment and frustration. They voted for the guy because he promised normalcy. He wasn't going to be a part of the burning wing of the party, and that there were going to be some standards to put in place. Well, they didn't think their gas prices were going to go up. When they go to the store, the price of milk and some of the meat was going to go up. They didn't think that he was just going to open up the border this way. They didn't think crime was going to get out of control. And so when you talk about the issues, it was so much of the focus on Donald Trump and his tweets.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
That really doesn't affect average day people. No. I mean, maybe the people that are the high class folks, we're too dignified. But for the folks that have to get up every single day and go to work, they're pretty ticked off still.
You're right, the high class people.
The high class people.
Yeah, I don't know any of them. But right. At risk of being accused of piling on to the Vice President, Lawrence, I want to show you more criticism for her latest word salad. Roll it.
Jamaica, one of the issues that has been presented as an issue that is economic in the way of its impact has been the pandemic. We will assist Jamaica in COVID recovery by assisting in terms of the recovery efforts in Jamaica that have been essential to, I believe, what is necessary to strengthen not only the issue of public health, but also the economy.
Lawrence, I do not want to pile on, but that kind of statement is so vague and almost incomprehensible that it doesn't lead us to support this vice president or have confidence in her at all.
Yeah. A couple things here. She is the journalist that needs a prompter, that wants to be an ad-libber, right? Everybody wants to be an ad-libber because it invokes personality, you connect with the audience.
You communicate.
You communicate with the people. She needs a prompter, and she does not need to ever go off script. This is a missed opportunity for the vice president because the president is doing so bad and so poorly that if you're the vice president and you actually have a backbone and you can speak and connect with the American people, you would be setting yourself up to potentially challenge the president.
She would.
She's missed that opportunity. It could be very historic for her, and I don't think she can recover. The people that are surrounding her, the people that are left, because most of her staff, they're gone. They can't handle it anymore, especially in the press shop. They say she doesn't read the briefing. She doesn't read the material that they give to her. And when they bring it up, she gets defensive. Well, it's clear right here. The people in her own office are saying that she's just not fit. This is Joe Biden's fault, though. The Democrats rejected her. She was the first candidate out of the primary out of there. Okay, sorry. She was the first one out, and he, instead of saying, you know what, maybe the voters in the Democratic Party don't like her, he puts her on the ticket.
I know.
And now he's suffering as a result of every task that he gives her. She fails at it, and now we're hearing from the sources in the White House that she wants people to stand when she enters the room. She doesn't read the material. Oof. You don't stand for the vice president. That's not protocol. That's not how we do things here. It's one commander in chief.
I'm not piling on, Rollins. I'm not going to do that.
The facts are the facts.
And ladies and